Why is it on two like that?
Because that's okay. Yes. Greetings. Greetings to all of you that are joining in, all of you that are coming in later. Sorry, I apologize. It took some time for me to get everything prepped, but I was sun gazing and I got so much downloaded information. I mean, time is crunching, people. Time is crunching. Playtime is over. Got so much to share for all of you who have been keeping up, all of you whom are awake and aware. There's so much going on, so much. Like I said, I got a lot to talk about. But I think I'm gonna call this one. I want to do something different each time. I've been wanting to, or I have the desire to evolve this show. And instead of just sitting at a table, being a talking head, I've always I want to get out in nature. I want to do some things to really, it's kind of hard because, I need somebody to hold the camera. I got someone doing that today. Just found out, it took me so long, we just found out that it's, with a mobile device, you got to have so many viewers. I don't have that many viewers, or pardon, I'm saying it correctly. I've got to up my viewers. So for all of you that are listening and tuning in, do your best to share if you can. So anyway, having to use my laptop, so bear with me because this is going to involve moving around. I got something different I want to show you guys in the efforts of what, I'm hoping to share and I don't want to, pardon me. I guess I could say teach or guide, not so much teaching, but more sharing the way I see it. So this is going to be about, I'm going to cover a few different things. This is going to be about bringing the ego into a physical existence for you. See, people don't seem to understand when I share with them that this work, this evolution of your soul, this evolution into your true self, it's challenging. You have to understand the depth, and you have to approach it understanding that you can't have a preconceived notion of how challenging transitioning from your false self, your ego, to your real self is. So this exercise of this display that I'm going to share with you is to help give you and to help you develop your own sense of creating your ego into something physical that you can see and touch, because that's all it is. The ego is a parasite. It attaches itself to you, and you begin to think, see, and experience this realm that we're in, this world, through the eyes of the ego. Now, a lot of you don't seem to get that the ego is your deceptor. I mean, it's there to deceive you. It's there to trick you, trap you up. And because you're so used to living with it, you can't see the difference between what your true self wants you to do and what your false self needs you to do. See, got a bunch of notes, so let me kind of be all over the place before I get to this exercise. So just bear with me, okay? So again, this is about bringing your ego into a physical form so that you can begin to chisel at it. You can begin to use it and see it, grab it, and have something to work with as an everyday practice for your own lesson's sake. So we're going to find something in your life Find something in your life that you can use as, again, something physical that you can work with. Because when I just tell you that, when I just share with you all that your ego is, it's a part of you and you have to train, you're not getting it. You're not getting the training part. And I understand sometimes it's a little tedious to try to imagine this ego. So now what we're going to do is we're going to give the ego something physical. And by doing that, maybe you'll begin to comprehend. Because you got to find out what your enemy, see, in this world, this realm, these entities, lower ether, not our higher ether entities that are working with us, but these lower ether entities, they needed to give you something, give all of us something that they could possess. See, and here's another thing. I don't think you people understand what possession really is. I don't think you get it. It's not this shit you see in the movies, you hear it turning. All this, it's not that bullshit. That's possession is much easier than that. But they needed something. Because again, I reiterate to you all, to be in this realm, you have to occupy a physical vessel. And see, a lot of you think that you're the only spirit that can occupy your physical vessel, and it's not the case. You can make room. Your ego allows room because your ego is their playground. Your ego is their portal. You see, that is the gateway. You give them the gateway to come in and take possession of it. And I've made reference to this movie Upgrade before, and I'll bring it up again. Now, in the movie, the guy, the lead character, without telling too much of the story, he basically accepts the chip. Now, the dynamic to this story is it has multiple facets to it. But in essence, he takes this chip, right? This chip grants him the ability to walk again. I really recommend you see this movie, but you need to see it, not just for entertainment, for objectivity. You need to be able to see it on a higher level, okay? So again, this movie has multiple facets to it. You need to understand, it's really talking about your ego versus your true self. So he accepts this chips that takes over. Eventually, he grants. Now here's the thing. The whole time, the chip is tricking him, deceiving. See, this is your ego. It's deceiving, making decisions for your life. No. That's the deception. See, this is what I want you to really grasp. How desperate your ego is. How strong you've enabled it. So he takes this chip after becoming paralyzed, and now he's able to walk again. Now the chip takes him on a hunt. It's AI intelligence, right? Again, the ego. It takes him on a hunt to revenge his wife that was murdered. This whole thing was orchestrated by this chip. So you have to understand, this chip orchestrated this whole plan, this whole blueprint from start to finish. Same thing your ego has been designed to do when you came into this realm. See, they knew you were coming because they're looking for all the messiahs. And I'm going to get into that too. But they always known you were going to come. Matter of fact, most of you, again, were caught into the soul trap. So they already had the ego set up for you. You come into this world and they just, they pop you with that ego. And that ego from day one, it starts to get groomed. Yeah. It starts to get groomed. And I want to say this, I'm just going to interject this real quick. It's been called to my attention that some people come and they watch my material and then they take it for themselves and paraphrase it. That's fine, you can do that. But understand, if you are a true leader of the people and supposedly helping to build our nation, you're hurting our people. You're hurting our people when you take from others because you're not staying in your lane. See, in order to build this nation, we need people to understand the lane. See, this whole metaphysical thing I've been doing since I was a child. Most of you are just starting into it as adults. Okay? Now, even though I know a little bit about nutrition, you don't hear me coming on here talking about, oh, well, you take this vitamin or you got to eat this to get this. You don't hear me talking about it because it's not my lane. See, in order for us to build this nation, we need to know our lanes so we're bringing something to the table. And everybody's sharing into building that nation. If you have you have one person trying to do it all, and you're going to get called on your shit eventually. So you're hurting yourself and you're hurting our people. You're going to get called. Because everybody, in order to build the nation, everybody's efforts have to count. Everybody's efforts have to count. And no man is an island. And as I always say, my motto, my expression, no two people come together for the benefit of one. It's going to take teamwork to make the dream work. But that's a little sidetrack. I'll tackle that again some other time. Right now, dealing with this movie called Upgrade. Okay. So the chip the whole time orchestrated, set up him getting paralyzed, his wife getting murdered. The whole time. And then began this man on a journey into which he tricked him, deceives him on a journey into thinking that he's going to avenge his wife. Because that was this man's passion, his wife. You see? But this chip had its own agenda. It needed a physical host. Are you connecting that? You got to connect this with your own life. You got to understand how this ego is working in you, through you, manifesting its own agenda through you and your belief system. Your belief system, this false indoctrinated belief system. So at the end of the day, at the end of the story, the chip was able to submerge this man into a dream state, buried into his consciousness, and with his wife, which is all he wanted in the first place, right? So the chip made him snap, caused his subconscious, his consciousness to snap. And when it did, that chip took over his whole body, took over his entire life. That's what your ego is doing to you. It's taking over. And its purpose is to feed these lower ether beings. So we need to understand something. I'm out in the garage getting, it's out in Vegas and it's hot. It's hot. It's like Arizona. But anyway, we need to understand something. This realm, this world you think exists is not what you've been led to believe that it is. So when you look out into nature, which is another reason why I want to do videos out in nature, when you look out into nature, the system, and when I say this system, not this artificial beast matrix system, I'm talking about the all-natural system, the divine created system. It's a truly marvelous system. And it's designed to be so self-sufficient, so harmoniously. But you know how all of that works? All of that is designed to work and be governed by natural law. All by natural law. See, and that's the problem. We're living outside natural law. And then we allow our ego to make justifications to keep doing it. Yeah, we do. That's what we do. But that's why the time is closing in on us. You got Nibiru showing up, getting closer. Now, if you understand anything about Nibiru, it's a sign. It's a sign of the return. And this is why one of the reasons, not the only reason, that they're camouflaged in the sky. They don't want you to see it. See, that's how the distractions work. They don't want you to see truth. I think you can sit down if you're uncomfortable and still hold it. But they don't want you to see the truth. See? So Nibiru is a sign of the return of the Anunnaki. But they've always been here. You know what? I'm going to give you something else in my notes I want to share along with what I'm saying. Back in, and I don't want to have to date myself, but anyway. So back in, I believe it was somewhere in the early 80s. I remember I was third, fourth grade. A lot of things happened when I was in third, fourth grade, right? Now, some of you might remember the show. I think it was called PM Magazine, I think. But what they aired was this this so-called man, which really I knew then because I could see him. I could see him. But this so-called being posing as a man, not a melanated man, mind you. I don't even have to say what, right? Posing as a man, posing as a human. And this is what he was doing. So apparently he got diagnosed with this terminal illness, right? They love giving y'all those illnesses. They love giving it to you. Sick? Oh, yeah. Oh, what's up? What's wrong, boss? We sick? Oh, y'all buy into everything. Anyway, so he supposedly was diagnosed with this illness, this life-threatening illness. And guess what the cure was? This is the cure. Him eating decayed red meat. Showing this thing of a man eating decayed red meat. Meat, flesh, decayed. Now, our bodies already really aren't designed to eat red meat. That's why tribally, culturally, wherever you were, wherever your ancestors were, tribally, you ate according to the seasons. So we all ate meat, but we didn't gorge on it like it's promoted here in this place. You ate it seasonally. Seasonally. And sometimes it was only based on, not only, but a lot of times you ate meat based on ceremony. You see? We lived off the earth. We ate fruits and vegetables, and nuts. Yeah, we had that. We ate like that. But you ate seasonally when it came to meat, other than fish, stuff like that. But when it comes to meat, your body isn't truly designed. That's why it's so hard on us. It's so hard. It takes up to 6 months to digest. If you eat a burger or steak or whatever today, it's going to take your body 6 months to digest. And this is another reason how they manage to keep you sick, because that whole time it takes up to 90%, I believe. You can do your own research, but it's a high percentage. I believe it's like 90% of your immune system to help digest the meat out of you. That's why when you catch a cold or you catch an ailment, it's having such a tough time for your immune system to fight it, because it's trying to get rid of the damn foreign shit that you done put in your body. Your body's not designed for that. Fish is something else. But red meat is your body's really not designed for it. So anyway, this man is eating decayed meat. Now I'm gonna show you something. What animal out there does that? A Komodo dragon. I think I did one of that. Uh-oh, did I mess something up? Don't. Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to. Okay, that's all. Never mind. Now I see what's going on. Okay, a Komodo dragon. See, a Komodo dragon, they don't always capture their prey immediately. So what they do is they bite it. And depends on how far that animal gets as it's running away. It could take them up to days before the Komodo finds its prey. It's not that fast, but all the saliva, all the toxins in their saliva, poisons. It's a slow poison into the body. So if you get bit by a Komodo dragon, you might escape that moment, but you don't get help. It's over. It's a wrap, right? So it could take them days to find you. They're going to find you, but it could take them days. So your body could be decomposing, but they're still going to eat you. Y'all following what I'm saying? These reptilians. That was a reptilian. Now, here's the thing. I looked on that. I looked for that video some years ago and found it on YouTube. But I was looking, after getting my downloads today, I was looking for it again. They took it off. I promise you, I put it on everything. A few years back, when that video came out, because I was doing some writing, and it came to me, I remembered this show. And I found it on YouTube. Matter of fact, I shared it with a few people back then. The next thing you know, the video's been removed. Try looking up Man Eats Decayed Meat. You might be able to find it. If you do, let me know. But yeah, so I'm bringing this up so y'all can understand. These reptilian beings have always been here, walking around, posing as people. But they're not people, you see? They're not people. So you have to understand, this system, this realm that we're living in, everything is designed and governed by these natural laws. So they have to operate in the laws just like you do. Even to deceive you, manipulate you, and possess you, they still have to operate under the natural law. Because you take physical form here, this physical form is governed by natural law. There's no escaping that, even for them. They're just millions of years more advanced than we are. And I've been dealing with them since I was a child. So, you know, I keep telling y'all, I'm the real deal. These other people, these agents y'all listening to, that's your business. But I can always listen to them and tell who's fake and who isn't. And I want to help get you there. But anyway, so they set up this system, right? But in this system, the beast system, not the natural system, in this system, they get to possess you. They get to possess you in this system. This is why higher consciousness is so important. Because then you cut off, you exit them, you cut off their strategy. But as far as the natural system, I want you to understand something. Everything feeds something. See, the way this system is so perfectly self-sufficient is because everything is designed to feed something. And you are a food source. You are a food source. Yeah. So now you have to understand which of these entities are you feeding? See, for the higher ether vibrational, some of them get fed by the worship. Remember, like in the movies, they tell you, like I think it was like Clash of the Titans, when the Greek gods, they said they were losing energy or losing power because people stopped believing in them, praying to them. So that's one way they get their nourishment. But it's really not about that. Let's talk about the lower ether beings, because this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the ego. I want you to fully understand and comprehend why you're having such a tough time with your ego in this work. Why are you having such a tough time? You're up against all of this technology, even with this computer, the Black Mirror. It's a portal. The moment you look into it, you've just given them entry. When you're looking into your cell phone, you're giving them entry. See, that's how advanced they are in possessing you. That's how advanced they are in possessing you. It doesn't take all of this other stuff that you've been led to believe in these movies. Some demon, you have to summon some demon. No. You're already summoning the demon the moment you look into this Black Mirror, this portal. Yeah. Then the music you're listening to. See, your subconscious, it's just a recorder. It works the same way. It works under the same principles as the universe does. It's your direct link. It's your umbilical cord. I've said this over and over, and I continue to say it. It's just designed to take orders. And they know this. This is why the moment from conception you enter this world, they're already programming you. And this is why Malcolm would say, to build a nation is the responsibility of the woman. Because the woman is the first teacher to the child. So when a child is in your womb, women, you have the choice to read to it, something positive, educational, or you have the choice to watch a music video. You see? And when you're doing all of these things, you got to understand that that stuff is working in reverse. See? It's working in reverse. That's why, again, when you play music, it's synthesized to work in a lower vibrational frequency. Everything for them, the lower ether beings, it's all inverted. Your ego is inverted. Your true self and your ego, they're inverted. You should have came here operating through your true self, your true divinity, but instead you've been hijacked. You've been robbed, bamboozled, run amok, led astray. And now you're functioning through your ego. You don't understand or realize it's your ego because we weren't taught the difference. We weren't taught the significance between the two. We weren't taught that. And this is why I go into about re-engineering your thinking. So I'm trying to cover all these notes, but then I get to talking and, and I get a little excited. But kind of as you can see behind me, you guys see this big tire right here? Take a good look at it. I'm gonna go stand by it. Let me see the camera. Right? That's a big boy. I think it's about, if I remember correctly, it's anywhere between 4, it might be 500 pounds. 4 to 500 pounds. Yeah. It's definitely over 400 pounds. Now, when you look at it, we're going to use this as an example. This is your ego. Right now, it's my ego, but I want you to understand. This is where you define something in the physical world that represents your ego. I'm going to break this down and explain it to you. Okay? This is a physical, inanimate object. Now, remember, your ego is not your true self, it's not your true divinity. It works here, exists here, eats here, survives here in the physical. So this is your tangible, immovable. See, this is how we break from, this is how we illustrate from metaphysics to physics, right? Simplified. This started off as a thought, someone's thinking, someone's ingenuity. It didn't exist until someone thought of it. It became a physical thing. It became a physical thing. You understand? So what can you take? What can you look around in your personal life and say, you know what, this is going to represent the challenge and struggle of my ego? Now, here's the thing. What do we do with this ego? We want to gravitate and get into alignment with our true self, right? We want to get in alignment with our true self, but it takes work. It takes work, people. I tell you all the time, you've been taking your ego to the gym all your life. all your life. Your mother, your father, whomever raised you, schooling raised you. Who taught you how to eat? Who taught you how to get dressed? Who taught you how to brush your teeth? All of these were ingredients contributing to the growth and development of your ego, not your true self, not who you have not learned who you are yet. You haven't learned who you are. This is why you don't know. This is why you don't understand the difference between your false self and your true self. You don't understand that. How can you? You haven't been given the tools to. Oh, this thing is not. All right, hold on, people, because my computer's doing some craziness. Okay. All right, sorry, I had a little hiccup right there. Anyway, so we got to start this work. Now we've created a physical representation of the ego. And again, this is 400 or 500 pounds, okay? An immovable object. It's not like going to the gym and you're doing some bench pressing or whatever you're doing, and the machine's there designed to assist you. No. See, remember, your ego, it wants to be comfortable. It's just going to lay there. And because it understands something that you don't, it knows how to manifest whatever it wants through you, through your thinking. It manifests what it wants through you, through your thinking. And it's lazy as hell, right? It doesn't have to do any work. The only work it's doing is confusing you. Just laying there. Just sitting there, minding its business, right? So now, I haven't really warmed up. I haven't warmed up really doing any exercises. So this is like when you start your day, what do you do to strengthen your true self? What do you do? How do you get your true self? How do you start your day when you're operating from your true self rather than your ego, your false self, the false entity? Okay? So you got to do something to strengthen, get yourself ready for your day, right? So here's something you start with. You can take that physical representation of your ego, right? You can start chiseling at it, breaking it down, right? Saying, ego, get the fuck out of here. I want to work through my true self, not my ego, right? So you do something. You start breaking that ego down, breaking it, weakening it, chiseling at it. So what's some of the things we can do? Like, since I'm using this immovable object as my ego today, I have to take something else physical. Give an example of breaking it down, right? Right? So let's say, now mentally, you listen to some motivational speakers, or you start chanting affirmations, right? You start chanting, you develop some affirmations to live by. These affirmations become your principles. These affirmations become your tools to beat your ego. What's the place you want that ego? You want that ego in the back seat of your vehicle. Your mental vehicle. You want that ego in the back seat. Not the front seat, not behind the wheel. Right? Now, remember, this damn physical representation of my ego is 400 to 500 pounds. 4 to 500 pounds. I'm not even fully warmed up. This is your challenge. This is what some of you are doing with your ego every day. And you drop it. Give up. I know y'all heard that, right? You can hear the heaviness. So it's just like you can't go in the gym and just automatically just start thinking you're going to size up, start hitting the weights, and you're going to start increasing the muscle. That muscle needs conditioning, right? It's just like if I do a kick, right? How do you prepare? How do you know how to do that kick? It takes training, conditioning. The same thing you have to do when it comes to this challenge of rising. Well, pardon me, comes to rising to the challenge of your ego. Your ego is not going to quit. Your ego is not going to quit. It's designed to keep taking you and keeping you out of your true life. So we're going to try this again. This is our daily effort. What are you doing on a daily to switch from your false self to your true self? What are you doing? Are you putting in that work? Or when it gets too heavy, you drop it. Don't worry if you drop it. Because you got to keep drilling at it. You got to keep going. You got to keep giving that effort. It takes the action, not just the talk. It's the action. See? I want to lift this time. I want to lift it. Right now it's inverted. I want to lift it and put it back in its natural position. Right? Or at least the position I want it in. The position I want it in is upright. Because when it's upright, it's easy. I can roll it. Right? Let's do it again. Oh, would you look at that? The determination to put my ego where I want it to be, in my control. It takes that work. It's not easy. Are you a quitter? How bad do you want it? See, I wanted it bad. Even if it falls down on me. Not on me. Let's see, we bring it back down. Right? I still want it up. Every day. Every day. Constantly. Until it gets to a point where I don't have any trouble crossing over. From ego, to my true self. My true self. Ego's got to get in the back seat when it comes to my life. Yeah, it might be hard. I might slip. I might fall. You're going to make mistakes. I make them all the time. But we're talking about mastering. Because as long as you're here, you're supposed to keep learning. As long as you're here, you're supposed to keep growing. As long as you're here in this realm, you have to flip this fucking tide. You have to flip it. And then once you flip it, once you get it where you want it, what else can you do to it? Huh? Can you punch it? Can you punch it? Can you punch it? See? Even that takes conditioning. That takes conditioning. Does it hurt sometimes? Yes. It's going to hurt. It's not going to be easy. It's going to hurt. But what else do you do in your life that hurts? That keeps you operating to where you're their food source? to where you can't have the life and live the free life that you want to live. Not the life that they're giving you. Not the life that they're dictating for you. But the life that you can't. You know what? So many people, some of you don't even understand what your purpose is. You know why you don't understand what your purpose is? You're walking around lost, confused, empty inside. Because you didn't come here to live through your ego. That's why. Only when you step into your true alignment, your true self, will you discover what your purpose is. See, these motivational speakers, a lot of them, not even just the motivational speakers, all these guys, is people on YouTube, so-called trying to teach something and talk about truth, and they don't tell you what the work is. They tell you just enough so you can keep coming back being dependent upon it. They don't tell you what the work is. They give you the hot doses. See, there are a lot of people out there, agents and so forth. They like to talk. Then they like to rally people together and talk. See, and you're surrounded by these people all day, every day. You go to work. You're dealing with lower consciousness people. Some of them are not even people. I can guarantee most of them aren't people. But when you go to work and you do your day-to-day events, all of that, everything you see and witness in this world that you partake in, is feeding your ego, not you, not who you truly are. It's all designed to feed your ego. So if you're not doing anything, training yourself to strengthen your true self, how do you expect to live from? These speakers, these people on YouTube, they're not telling you that. They're not teaching you that. They're not telling you you have to work, you have to train yourself. They're not telling you how challenging it's going to be. You get lost. Then you get to rally in with these people who just like to talk and grieve and complain. But do you understand that that's energy? Every time you get together with people who gossip, like that old expression goes, small minds talk about people. Average minds talk about events. Great minds talk about ideas. It's all a circulation of energy. Recycling, cycling. Just like what happens to us. Yeah, it's the same thing when you come here. But this everything that you see, you've been led to believe that this is all there is to it. Like this is it. You lived and you perish. No people, you get recycled. You get recycled into the system. And if you go out when your time is I guess when your time, pardon me, I'm saying that incorrectly. Let me speak correctly. Whenever you punch out of here, whenever you check out, there's two versions to that. You can check out here prematurely, living through the ego. Oh yeah. That's what a lot of you end up doing. A lot of us checking out prematurely because you want to live through the ego. But you should know your true time. You really should. How is it that an animal, and I've said this before, how is it that animals know when they're going to pass and you don't, and you've been given dominion over all animals? You've been given granted dominion over all animals. You're far more superior in intelligence. Yet you don't know the simplest thing of when your natural checkout time is. Something's wrong with that picture. Something is really wrong with that picture. You should know when it's time for you to check out of here. You should. So what are you doing? What are they telling you to do? All these people you're listening to. Because again, your associations, everything you're doing is feeding your ego. Everything feeds something by law. And whatever it is that you're allowing to feed your ego is feeding these lower ether beings doing their will, carrying out their objectives and agendas. But what do you do on a daily? What do you do on a daily? If you train yourself to take this ego down, if you train yourself, right? You train yourself. Look at it, 400 to 500 pounds. And you see this kick? Now, there's a lot. I can run, I can take a few steps back and then kick it. It'll definitely go down. But the challenge is kicking it from a shorter distance to make it go down. You see? Now I'm saying that again because when it comes to your ego, how much work are you going to put into it to take it down and build your true self up? That's the thing. You think this is not easy. This isn't easy. Kicking this thing, right? Punching this thing. You think I'd be able to do all of this if I wasn't trained and then kept up my training? You have to do the same thing. Thank you, Tina. So you have to do the same thing. You have to train. You have to allow yourself to be trained, taught. Surrender. This work takes surrendering. Your ego is going to manipulate you. It's going to trick you. It's going to keep fighting. And then, you know what? It's like the universe just answers. When you want something, you call, say you want something. Let's say, a good example. You take someone who hasn't really had a decent relationship, okay? Most of the relationships have been either unhealthy or, because most times we're creating relationships via the ego. That's really how we attract relationships. That's what we're in and out of relationships. The funny thing is, I'm gonna say this, because I like to make reference to movies. And if you really understand that of the rules of engagement, see, they have to give you information. They do. By law, they have to. If you're in a war and a fight, you have to know that you're in a war and a fight. Rules of engagement. Rules of engagement. Okay? But here's the thing. They can give it to you in another, they can give you that information in another language. They can mask it behind symbols. They don't have to give it to you directly. Yeah, they can make you work to get the truth, because to get truth, you have to seek it. You have to seek it. So a lot of times you're calling on, I get people reaching out to me because they've been seeking a teacher, right? I show up. I answer the call because that's what we're here to do. We're not here for ourselves. I'm about to challenge some of you people who constantly talk about self-love and all this other stuff. All this other stuff. Self-love. Let me explain something to you about self-love. Again, we buy into the farce, the fallacies. There is no disconnect in the universe. When you are loving someone that is mirroring you by law of projection and reflection, you're exercising self-love. See, to love someone or something outside of yourself, that's the very image of self-love. Selfless, self-love. You're not loving yourself any less. You can't give anybody your power. You come here with it all written in your DNA. It's like these you people, it's like another real quick. I'm getting up. I'm coming back to this movie thing. But I remember how Steve Harvey, don't get me wrong, I ain't hating on him. I actually used to work for him years ago. But, it makes me think about how Malcolm X says, show me in the white community, Caucasian community, where you see a trumpet player or baseball player as a community leader. When he was questioned about the leaders back, one of his interviews, I love it. But he said, these aren't leaders in our community. These are trumpet players, baseball players, comics, right? So I'm circling back. So Steve Harvey wrote a book, and a lot of you people, y'all ate it up. But it was something about think like a man for women. Think like a man, but act like a woman. So what was that? Was it think like a man, act like a woman? That mess. Okay, I'm gonna show you how that works against you. Illustrate it for you. You can do your own research. I stay away from opinions. I only deal in facts. I give you information that you can go and do. If you don't want to take my word for it, go do your own due diligence of what I share with you. It's that simple. Because I'm responsible for what I teach people. I'm just not out here to throw it out there so I can make money, get views. You see my channel, I don't have a lot of views because that's not what it's about for me, because I'm working to evolve out of the matrix, not stay in it. Okay? Let me show you something. When they tell you, or when Steve said, think like a man, act like a woman. Let me show you let me show you, it works, but it messes you up. It really doesn't work. It's an illusion. But let me tell you what's happening. See, you got to understand, cells carry memory. Cells carry that. Your cell is intelligent. It's intelligent. Your cells think. Everything in your body has intelligence. And I've said it before. It's not just your brain, it's a computer. Your whole body is a computer. Now, you as a woman, you didn't come here to be a man. Uh-oh. You always tell us part of it. Girl, you stop. Now, this certain person is a dear friend of mine that, if you're reading her comments, she knows this. We've had many, many deep conversations, and she has a channel, a station, network, and everything. She does a lot. She's connected to Yana Van Zandt, Les Brown, but she knows the game. She's been in it for a long time. Very informative woman. But yeah, right. Like I said, rules of engagement. They give it to you in plain sight, but you're not trained to be able to decipher the encoding, right? Okay. So anyway, your cells carry memory. They are intelligent. So what you can do is, what you end up doing with their assistance, when you try to think like a man, you're altering your DNA. Yeah. You're altering, you're having to actually mentally, and because your subconscious is designed to take orders, you're transforming yourself into a man. That's what some of you women, you're growing hair out your face. Some of you are losing your hair. Yeah. Because in order for you to think, the other day, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. The puppeteers, the controllers, the reptilians. Yeah. But in order for you to think like a man, what you're doing, because your subconscious is designed to take orders. So you're launching a trajectory, an energy. You want to think like a man, okay? Well, in order for you to think like a man, everything in your body has to change, has to alter. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're right. But it's actually not just gender neutral. The agenda is to create gender war. See, that's the other part of it. That's the invert. It's not gender neutral, it's gender war, actually. And I've covered that before, but I'll cover it again. There's a reason they want you to switch. Remember, it's everything that they put out to you is inversion. See, your ego is just you inverted. Well, it's not really you, but you follow what I'm saying. You're inverted. This is why you have to learn when you see something that they're telling you, you have to go behind it and think opposite. You have to counter it by not only thinking opposite, but operating opposite. Yo, that's my son, sons. Nitty in the house, shout out. Thanks for showing up, brother. So anyway, you're telling yourself to think like a man and then you're becoming a man. Then you wonder why you're ruining your relationships. Because your cells now, your subconscious, say, oh, you want to think like a man. Okay, so now I had to increase your testosterone level. Uh-oh. See, it's a shame because melanated people, call and response. Exactly. You send it out there, the universe has to grant you command. Your subconscious, the universe is not going to, they're not going to argue with you. If you choose to take on this belief, that's why you have to be careful who you're plugging in and you're listening to. You take on all of that as a belief. And here's the thing, because your subconscious works the way that it's worked by design, you hearing something and you're taking, your subconscious is taking it on as a belief because you have a driven force, emotional content. See, here's the thing. Bruce Lee said something in one of his last film, Enter the Dragon. And this whole thing goes, and I love it. I'm a big fan of Bruce. Shout out to Bruce's spirit. It's just like when you punch him. Right? Learning how to do that punch. Now in a fight, Bruce said, I do not hit. It hits all by itself. Because now your subconscious, you've trained your body. And the same thing you can do with your true self when you're training it. It now knows how. You're giving it the ability, the tools, the know-how to operate harmoniously with you. So when something is coming in to try to stimulate your ego and you've learned to master your true self, it automatically shuts it down. But you have to get to that level first. You don't just start the work and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, no, you're not a master. The discovery of oneself really takes a lifetime. So in the meantime, I got a nice story. I got a nice story from Iyanla in her earlier years. Relates to all of this, right? Because I remember one of her first books. And Iyanla would talk about when Richard Pryor burned himself. That's what they say. So when he so-called caught himself on fire, the comic Richard Pryor, one of our legends, one of the greats. When he caught himself on fire, they said, Iyanla shared that he had to be set in a solution. And that solution was helping to remove all that dead, burned skin. And And she said, she expressed that he would scream because it was painful. It was painful. But the solution was removing. See, and this is us when we're learning to evolve from lower reptilian consciousness into higher divinity consciousness. It can be painful, grueling, like punching and flipping this tire, putting in the work. It can be painful and grueling. And she called it the meantime. Now be mindful again, I tell you all the time about that play on the English dialect, or not even a dialect, this so-called engineered English wording, which is casting spells in cursive. You understand? So that's why I'm always constantly correcting myself about how I speak. See, even though I've mastered, I've become a key master and so forth, I still have to be mindful. My ego is trying to works to trick and trap me up all the time. It doesn't stop, people. It doesn't stop. It continues. That's why you have to make yourself a weapon against it. You have to forge yourself in this fire. So that meantime that Richard was going through is something we all have to journey through the experience in this realm. Go through your meantime. Don't quit. Because at the end is a reward. So when you're going through, some of you, like I said, some of you when you're picking, relationships that, you take it, when a person goes, not just women, but I'm using women because a lot of times there's always this baggage. But anyway, so you go through picking relationship after relationship. But you don't understand that when you were going through these relationships, you were programming yourself. You don't understand that. You were programming yourself. Not only were you programming yourself, but you were launching an emotional, passion-driven energy, a trajectory. The universe was just saying, okay, this is what you like. This is how you operate, and this is what you enjoy. Even though you're sad and you're bitter or whatever the case is, you come out of relationships in a negative fashion, but the universe, it just answers the call. This is why you have to be mindful. I get a lot of people always, when they come to me, telling me what they don't want. But it's very rare I can get people to come and tell me what they actually want. See, when we use the words, I said this all the time, don't, can't, won't, won't, those words are omitted by the universe. They don't even exist. They are non-existent when it comes to the universe. So really, when you say you don't want something, omit the don't, and you get the want. That's why everything that shows up in your life is something that's disagreeable to you. So in the meantime, be mindful of what you really want. Yes, well, a new species being introduced before our eyes. Oh, yes. I'm going to get great comments. Thank you, guys. So in the meantime, you're going through this relationship. You've programmed your cells, your whole body, your energy, your projection, your trajectory into that. So now you want to call on something new and different, right? You want to call on, I want a better relationship, mother. Okay. Oh, the universe says, oh, you want that now. Okay, well, are you ready for that? Are you ready for it? Because with that comes a whole different type of conditioning. So you can attract it, but can you keep it? Can you keep it? Can you do what it takes to stay at the vibrational frequency to keep it? Because you've caught on, the universe doesn't, it's expedient. There's no hesitation. I'm speaking incorrectly, but I'm just to get the message across. There's no hesitation with the universe. You call on it, you ask for it, you desire it, it shows up by law. It has to, because that's the design. There's no arguing, there's no debating. But you have to understand, now you have to go through a whole level of different conditioning. that conditioning is going to come in that new relationship that you asked for, because you haven't been doing anything to train yourself. So unless you've trained yourself to be prepared for what you're asking for, then the conditioning is going to come while you are in the relationship. Can you handle that? Uh-oh. 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 As a man thinketh, so is he. So is he. Thoughts are things. You know, it's funny that I was going to bring up this movie, and I'm tying this back into relationship. The movie Hancock. If you haven't seen it, see it. Now, here's the thing. Most of the people who, especially non-melanated people who do this work, a lot of them listen to Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill would say that the man's woman is his first mastermind alliance. And when you look at it, like years ago, I was exposed to Amway. A lot of you don't know this. But yeah, years ago, back in the 90s, I think I was exposed to Amway. Man, I got a lot to say. I think I might have to make this a continuance. Might have to, because something's supposed to be tried. Somebody's got to go to an airport and all this other stuff. But anyway, man, the time sure flies by. But so he would say a man's wife is his mastermind alliance. And all of these people in Amway, all of these wealthy people, right? You go to the seminars and they're speaking, and the man's wife would be right there at his side. And you listen to all these tapes of these successful people. And it's always about their relationship. Their success is always attributed to their relationship. Why is it that everybody else gets that? Every other group gets that but melanated people? Why? There's a reason why. I can go into that later. I've actually covered it a few times. But the melanated people, we've been so indoctrinated and duped and confused. See, we don't understand the power behind the man and woman union. We don't understand that. See, in Hancock, Will Smith plays this super god being, right? Like a drunken, of course, we can never be taken seriously as superheroes. It's got to be some goofy side point, right? Like, so Hancock, ego must not exist if the union is to be sustained. I find you must truly nourish, feed each other's soul. That's important. You know, the funny thing before I go into Hancock, while I was in Phoenix, I would attend some of these so-called metaphysical groups. Primarily, they're all non-melanated. And I remember hearing one of the non-melanated women, Caucasian woman, and they were talking, most of the women were talking about, you know, how relationships and so forth. And they said if the person isn't evolved, it's never going to work. This is true. But I'm bringing this up so I want you to understand. I want our people to understand their thinking versus what we've been duped into thinking. Our programming. Their programming versus our programming. Something. So in the movie Hancock, right? Will Smith plays this drunken superhero. But this is a funny thing. In order for him to get out of his drunkenness and beatnik type attitude, it takes a Caucasian to lead him out of that. I can tackle this thing on so many psychological, metaphysical levels, but I'm going to stay to this topic right quick. So in the movie, though, now Charlize Theron, she's the more powerful super god being, right? But the story is when these two come together, they lose their power. They lose their power, right? They get weaker because they come closer and they become more human. Now remember, this whole thing is inverted. See, I've always believed and always known. I'm serious. I've always known. As a matter of fact, in my movies I've written about this. It's the same too. As the male and this female come together, and they become more powerful. It's just the opposite. They want us to think coming together, melanated man and woman, makes us weak. You know, this is why you have people like Beyonce putting out songs, independent, all independent women, and there's no such thing as independent. Neo, Miss Independent. That's why he loves her. There's no such thing as independence. You can't be independent. We're not an independent species, people. We're a self-sufficient species. We're not an independent. That's the difference. You got to understand this English dialect. Pardon me, not a dialect. English language. This engineered English language that was designed to keep you operating at a lower vibrational frequency to feed these lower interdimensional beings. Uh-oh. See, the true building of a nation, the true power that we have as melanated people is man and woman joining union. You don't get weakened, you become super. You become superpower. But you have to understand that. They want you at conflict. They want you having divorces and staying separated. And again, that's part of the gender war. See, what women need to understand, the reason they're switching these roles is because upon this return, these beings want to rape and pillage you and have babies with you. Oh. So they have to get the men out of the way. I continue to say this. They have to destroy the male gene. So when it comes down to it, who's going to do the fighting? Hey, this is not, see, I'm dealing in truth. You want to get your ego involved in it and talk about gender, that's on you. You're not a truth seeker. I'm not here to share with people who want an ego trip. Testosterone makes a big difference. So they have to get men out of the way so that they can have you, women. You have to understand that. Stay out of this gender war. Respect and keep your unions. Grow your unions. This is important. Time. It's after 6. So anyway, I'm kind of going on. There's some other things I wanted to talk about. Or have I covered everything? Oh, I did want to bring something to this is something else I really wanted to bring. I said this before, but I was talking to a brother of mine, and he reminded me, and I want to reiterate this. I've covered it a little bit before, but I also wanted to throw this in here. People, stop throwing your children online. Stop putting them on your social media. Now, this brother Ron, if you're listening, I give a shout out to you. He said to me, he reminded me how Instagram, Instagram is your pictures are blocked. That's a chopping block, people. That's what they did to slaves, put you on a chopping block, right? So do you realize that you're actually putting your children on the chopping block? I wrote about this in my movie years ago. You're actually putting your children on the chopping block. And what's happening is they have agents running through these social media who work for these predators who not only like to molest children, but to eat them. So they're scrolling your social media. And as soon as your child shows up and it fits the description of one of these nasty, I mean, I can't even, pardon me, putting it into words, because I'm a protector of children, but these things that eat, molest children, these things are ordering your children up. And then all they have to do, because of the power that you bestowed upon you give them. The power you give them because you support this matrix beast system. You give it to them. Then you wonder why your children come up missing. Or you wonder why your children can't think. You wonder why your children are turning narcissistic. You're making it happen. They're ordering your children. Your children on chopping blocks. Every time you throw them on social media. Stop putting your damn children on fucking social media. Fuck wrong with you? You got children, you got your grandchildren, your children on your social media and pictures. Take them off. Think. Yeah, this is a game, but you better remember what kind of game this is. Like I said earlier, this ain't the world you think it is. You've been led to believe a whole masquerade. There's people being reported all over the world, coming up missing with the organs missing. I mean, coming up dead with the organs missing. How do you think this is happening? These people orchestrate situations because they know everything you do. They know your habits. They know your eating habits. They know your likes, your children's likes. They know everything about you and your children. So now all they have to do is orchestrate an incident. They just orchestrate an incident where you or your child comes up missing. And it happens because you're living through ego, not through your true self. Because when you live through your true self, you're automatically protected. Because when you're living through the Creator creates us with a purpose. So when you come here and you're living through your true self, you're discovering that purpose. You're living in that purpose. You're serving by law of service to others in that purpose. You are here until that is done. Nothing can stop you. I'm living proof of that because I'm a TI. And if you don't know what a TI is, I suggest you do your research. Yeah, I'm a TI. They've tried over and over and over to take me out. You don't believe me? I'll share a story with you real quick. This is how young and one of the experiences I had to help me understand this matrix. So when I was just a little boy, so long, I don't even recall the age. I was probably in first, second grade, maybe, if that. My stepfather, or the man that I knew as my stepfather at the time, and his cousin got into a shootout with each other. Right? Now, my stepfather's shooting from our apartment doorway. My mother's hysterical, and he's like down the way on the stairwell shooting. Now, there was a moment where my mom was so hysterical, and my stepdad went to try and calm her. He was trying to calm her and shoot at the same. It's crazy. And my little curious ass at the time, children are curious. And we're also courageous. We don't learn fear until you give it to us as parents, right? Feeding that ego. So I took my little curious ass and wanted to peek out of the door. So I wanted to peek. Boom! Shot goes off. You know what I'm saying? I went to peek and the shot goes off. Everything took a whole different time zone. It's like life became still. And I saw this bullet go right in front of me, across me, as my mother simultaneously was snatching me back into the apartment. It was all in slow motion. I saw this bullet. We had like a wooded creek area down the way, down that corridor, because we were upstairs. And I remember turning, my mom, she screamed my name, pulled me, and I saw that bullet slow, just like in the movie The Matrix. When I first saw it, it tripped me out because of my experience. And I saw it tear through those trees and leaves, hearing it, everything, as she's pulling me back in. So I had a lot of experiences that caused me to question this so-called reality. And I never stopped questioning. See, only by asking the right questions can you get the right answers. You can ask any old foolish question, but only until you start to ask the right questions can you get the right answers. So you understand, this, again, is not the kind of world you have been led to believe in. And everything that you're doing is supporting their agenda. Lastly, I think I'm about to wind this down. If you've been paying attention, and I tell you all the time, observe the skies. You need to keep your eyes on the skies because it's telling you something. There's stuff going on in those skies, especially at night, especially when people least expect it, and even during the day, because it got you so busy running back and forth, serving them, serving the system, paying bills, going to work, all of this stuff, running through traffic. You're so busy. You're so distracted. You think you're serving yourself. You think you're serving your life. You think you're serving your family. No. At the end of the day, you're serving them. And they're not only here, but they're about to expose themselves. See, I keep telling people all the time about this whole gender war. I'm gonna get back to watching the sky. But another facet of this gender war is you have to understand, it's not just about the gender. They're going to push you towards, they're slowly indoctrinating you towards legal child sacrificing. These entities are going to show up. All of a sudden, they're going to have all the answers to world peace. You're going to have all the answers for you and heaven and all of this stuff. And y'all going to look, because your lower consciousness will operate through ego, you're going to worship it. You're going to believe in it. Then they're going to hit you with something else tragic. And again, they're going to have the answers, but you got to do some sacrificing. You got to give up your child. You got to give up your wife, your husband. Primarily your child, because that's what they really love. They love eating the blood and spirit of children. That's their primary source as far as their sustenance, their pleasure. You got to give up your child and make it all go away. You got to give up your child so all this can get better. We can go and now you can live back in peace and harmony, and then they'll continue. Yeah. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but trust me. It's written in all the hieroglyphs. It's always been here. This is nothing new. See, you're offering yourself to a collective energy that feeds their world collectively. See, when we're really high consciousness people, we're actually supposed to be working together collectively. Remember, it's all energy. It's you working in alignment with the earth. This is why it's a cause for melanated people, the natural people that are designed for this planet. We were specifically designed for this realm. Specifically, everything, every source, everything within you is designed to help this planet, to help this realm, to keep it for you, me, your children. This is why they have to distract you. This is why they keep you operating in ego. This is why. This is why they take you out of your natural state. Listen, you living the way they want you to live is mixing bleach and what's that other? Ammonia. Bleach and ammonia. Bleach and ammonia. This is not the way we came here to live. Yet you keep doing it. Because you don't understand that this work is about faith. Y'all don't understand that when these beings return, they're going to come back and get the ones who've ascended. Yeah. Ascended. You've raised your higher vibrational frequency. If you're here serving this system, you go with their team. You go with their team. Don't think you're going to come back and be rescued. It's not going down like that. If you operate in ego, you are playing for their team. It's that simple. There's no gray area. All of you want to think that you cannot mix ego and higher consciousness. It doesn't work. That's bleach and ammonia. It doesn't work that way. There's no gray area with the universe. Positive and negative, male and female. It's that simple. Stop making it complicated. You're allowing your ego to make this complicated. It's really not that complicated. It's really simple. But you're making it complicated because you don't understand what your ego is doing to you. You don't understand your choices are being made by your ego to sustain this matrix beast system. The choices that you are making have gotten you this far in your life. Your ego. Stop arguing with me and telling me you're living through high consciousness. Oh, you blah, blah, blah. Because the evidence speaks for itself. The universe presents evidence. If you're in a relationship, you're arguing, bickering, because one of you is still operating your ego, and then you expect to have harmony. How? Really? Again, if you don't know about bleaching water, because remember, your body's made of chemicals as well. It's not just water. It's not just blood. It's not just muscle tissue. See, in this gender war, you're being like the earth, our earth, where they're telling you geoengineering, where they're telling you We're overpopulating the planet. What they're not telling you is that the earth is being terraformed. The earth is being terraformed, made habitable for these beings, these lower ether beings. They're possessing your mind, they're possessing your body, because they need a physical form to occupy you. But the terraforming is to assist in bringing them into this realm without your body. So right now, as the planet is being altered, so are you. You're being altered through the foods you eat. You're being altered by the trails that they're putting up there. These trails contain nano. Oh, which brings me, by the way, they have nano water now. Nano water. Are you serious? You people trip me out. And then y'all going out there, I bet you're drinking it. You're drinking nano water. You didn't even step outside your ego to think about what that meant. Nano water. Do you even know? They told you a long time ago what nano was and is. It's programmable fucking microscopic robots. Oh my God. The Creator gave you common intellect, and y'all don't even bother to use it. Gave you common intelligence, and you don't even bother to use it. Because you're so indoctrinated, you let them do all the thinking for you. That's why you control. Nano water. Not only are they giving it to you in the sky, from the skies, but they're putting it in your foods, and they're putting it, and of course, in your water. Now they're not just putting it in your water behind your back; they're making it appealing. You people don't drink it because you're being engineered. How do you think transhumanism is going to take place? They're going to make everything inviting, normalizing it. They're going to make it inviting for you, appealing. They're telling children that these chips and things are going to give them superpowers. Don't worry, don't trip, because this is what you want. This is the energy, the collective energy. Because you don't seem to understand. In order for you to shut it down, you got to walk away from it. But you don't want to do that because most of you are too fearful. You're too fearful. You want to talk. You want to talk it, but you don't really want to walk it. You're too fearful. You want to get together collectively and talk and soothe each other and give each other hot doses. That's what a lot of you like. You like the hot dose. That's why a lot of these speakers are millionaires, because they give you hot doses and y'all love them. And y'all come and keep paying them, keep going to the seminars, keep buying them books. Get your hot dose. Feeling good. You're up. You're high for the moment. Like you're up, right? Then as soon as the ego becomes insurmountable, you start to fan. You start to give in. You start to break. Because everything you need to do in order to shift into your natural power, your natural divinity, your natural alignment, you don't want to do it. Because your ego won't allow it. It becomes too much for you. So this is what like I said at the beginning, what I'd like for you all to do for all of you that need to do this. Turn your ego. Have a good conversation. Look in the mirror, right? Talk to your subconscious, talk to your ego. Then take your ego and say, I'm going to turn you into something physical that I can see every day. Now, here's the thing. Everybody's challenge is going to be something different. It could be several things. Like, I know what my challenges are. But let's help you identify yours. Okay? What's something you can look at as a physical objective as your ego? What can you look around in your life and say, that's a challenge? That's my ego challenging me. For some of you, it might be, whatever a fear might be. That's the best one. A fear. Let's say you have a fear of swimming, a fear of water. Okay, join a gym or go to the neighborhood swimming spot. Just stick your feet in the water. Go to the shallow end. Maybe just stand in the water. Maybe some of you are in relationships and you have a tough time, I don't know, surrendering to the relationship. Try surrendering. Whatever it is, there's an opposite action. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So instead of making it a reaction, take an action that's opposite. This way you become counterproductive. You are now operating in your power when you take something. Find whatever it is, something that relates to you, that every time you see it physically, you feel yourself like it's just taking the energy, just want to zap the energy out of you because you just don't want to do it. Do it. Start with one thing. You might have multiple, but just take one. Don't overwhelm yourself, but find something that you can look at, touch every day. Make that thing your ego and practice it. Daily, nightly, whatever, at least twice a day. Because you have got to get into the position of thinking of how your enemies, which are these lower ether beings, are utilizing your ego to sustain them. That's what it's there for. Your ego is not there for you. It's there for them. So find out what it is that they're using against you. They're using something within you, within your world, that stirs your ego, and it nurtures them. Find out what it is. But the first step in finding out what it is, project it into something physical. Find you something that is challenging to you so that you can project it into something physical. And every day, every night, you can chisel at that thing. All right, I think that's about it for this round. I'm going to go back through my notes. This is the first time I've had to have someone else hold the computer for me. Attempting to evolve this show that I'm doing to reach out to you guys. I'm really I used to be really excited about all of this, but I'm almost like, it's close, maybe like this, to throwing in the towel. It's because, I know, man, it's my ego. But it's just, see, melanated people, listen, I was sharing this the other day. We're so indoctrinated that we don't understand that we've been groomed to look for something outside of us to save us. It's the whole Jesus. It's the whole Jesus allegory, right? We don't understand that Jesus, Jesus, Yahweh, or Yahshua, which really the name is really an African name, Yashashun or something like that. I used to have this old African Bible. It was vast, but and the name is actually much more complicated. And I've explained the significance of our names, what we were named, while we used to actually have naming ceremonies. So we're so taken out of our natural state. That's why we're so chaotic. You take anything out of its natural state, you're going to produce chaos. So anyway, we're so indoctrinated that we don't understand. See, you got to get to the point where you understand your operation. You got to get to the point where you understand how your thinking is producing for you. So you can stop blaming something outside of you. You can stop trying to, because when you point the finger, you got three pointing back at you. It's something internal. Cause and effect by law of causation, law of cause and effect. Something internally inside of you is causing the experience that is before you. That's projecting back to you through someone else. You think you want to blame them when it's really you. Because you launch thoughts out there that you haven't dealt back, you haven't reeled back in and tried to correct. They're just out there serving as energy. It doesn't stop. Your brain is constantly, whatever's lying dormant in there that you haven't dealt with, it's still manifesting experiences for you. That's why you have to really understand this inner work is reflective. It's going to reflect through something or someone. But instead of you blaming that thing or that someone, have some introspect. Take a moment. Think. You have to understand energy does not die, there's no cease to energy. It is constant. It is continuous. That's why you can't die. So there's no such thing as death. So we are indoctrinated through slave genealogy, waiting on some savior to come down. We haven't taken the time, many of us, to understand that we are our own saviors, and we are the saviors of our brothers and sisters. But it's a collective effort. And that saving first starts changing within you. You cannot take the old you. Like James Brown, like I've said before. James Brown said, somebody gives you $1 million, you better learn how to be rich. The operative word there being learn. So when something that you ask for comes in your life to make you a better version of you, then you better learn in that experience how to be what you need to be, what you came here to be. Because we came here with the purpose of serving each other, serving this planet, serving this universe. And you're going to keep operating as a selfish person in your ego, thinking this is all about you and that you're supposed to be living just your life and not care about anybody else but you and your little family and loved one. Okay, your time is coming because, like I said, this clock is up. This clock is up, people. They are here. They're distracting you and they're clouding or shading from you what's really going on. Because they don't want you to see. Because if you see and you start seeking that truth and you start living that truth, then you're prepared. Because it can't be just a physical preparation. It has to be a mental, conscious preparation. But all of you that's sitting here just living your life, serving the system. When that bell tolls, when Trump sounds, when the trumpet sounds, you're not going to be ready. And you're going to be highly, highly disappointed at the fact that you have followed their lead into a false existence. And then at the end, when that, like I said, when that trumpet sounds, your so-called President Trump, when that trumpet sounds, that bell tolls, and you're not on the right side, don't get mad. You're going to be with them. So every day, people, you've got to do something to start practicing. It has to be a practice. You've got to shut down anything that doesn't impress upon you your evolution. Shut it down. Some of you don't want to let go. Because some of these things that are keeping you in your ego are relatives. Some of these things that are keeping you, all of it is all habits. It's all old life shit. See, the biggest problem a lot of us want to take, we think we can take the old shit and bring it into the new shit. Wrong. You have to remember, here's the easiest way to remember this. Everything that you came here with within you, everything that you wrote out, your desires, if they're already in your life, then don't listen to me. You're doing what you need to do. But if you are feeling empty, if there are some things missing in your life, if there's some questions yet unanswered, some goals and some passions yet unfulfilled, because you got to remember the universe works expeditiously. It shows up as soon as you are vibrating in the same vibrational frequency as that thing or that person. They show up. The universe is expedient. It works expeditiously. No hesitation. See, hesitation comes in fear and doubt. That's ego. If what you want in your life hasn't shown up yet, that means there's something in you that needs to change. There's something in your world that you need to let go. A lot of you people think that you don't have to sacrifice. This world is about sacrificing. This work is about sacrificing. You think flipping that tire is just going to come like naturally? No. That takes blood, sweat, and tears. That takes sacrificing of time, pain, exhaustion to be able to lift. You got to go through this pain. You got to go through the struggle. And it really isn't even a struggle if you just release, just surrender. Your ego is making it hard. Why can't you understand that? Just let go. The Creator has you, your universal aids, meaning your guardian spirits, your divine entities that are there. They got you, but they can't get you if you don't let go. It's that exercise that they have children doing where they circle around and it becomes this whole trusting thing. You're just falling, and you got to rely and trust on your group to catch you. See, everything that you think that these people come up with and you think is new shit, it ain't nothing new shit. Remember, in order for it to exist here, it comes from me. It's that simple. So stop making it complicated, people. Just let go. Whatever you've asked for and it shows up, surrender to it because you asked for it. And when you ask for it, you didn't just ask for it here. It's a contractual agreement that you made beyond here. And the problem is, y'all don't understand that these contracts, you think these relationships and so forth are unions, pardon me. So I'm going to start using the word unions. You think these are new experience, new relationships? No. Everybody that you're attached to, you've always been attached to. It's nothing new. That's your false belief system. That's your ego thinking. So you better understand that you got contractual agreements that you better honor. If you're not honoring them, then, hey, whatever, like Malcolm said, whatever come upon you, that's your business. Because you're choosing, when you get here, you want to change, you want to try to change the plan. No, it doesn't work like that. You came here to fulfill a plan, and you better wake up and fulfill it. Because the calling is happening. Anyway, so that wraps us up. Like I said, I'm going to have to go through my notes, make sure I see if I covered everything. I really am grateful for all those who joined in, for all those who commented. I think I skipped some comments. I was supposed to go through some comments, but I'll go through them and then I'll come back and talk about them in the next show if I haven't thrown in the towel. So if I hadn't thrown in the towel on this, because it's a lot of work trying to wake people up, and it's already tough that I myself have to deal with my challenges. For outer contracts to be activated or received, we must check out inner contracts. Ego deaths create surrender. Ego deaths. Yes, the inner contract, but remember, Tina, though, there's no disconnect. The inner contract you have within yourself is still attached to the contracts, because everything that's inner manifests to the outer. So, and everything from the universe has to come through you. So it's still all attached. But yes, it's still all attached. So, but that ego death, I love that, definitely. You got to kill that ego. You're not going to really kill it, because, again, it's here with you into this physical. It's a physical parasite. You got to look at it as a parasite. It's sucking you. It's sucking the life force out of you to feed to these lower ether beings. You're serving their purpose. You are a food source. But I still like the expression, the ego death. But we really only put the ego in the trunk or the back seat of something, because it's going to always keep chiming in. And that ego, your ego will manifest distractions for you. I get it all the time. I get all the excuses. Oh, this is life. Oh, this and that happened. Oh, okay. But you have to understand. You could tell me and the universe all of that nonsense and all of those excuses, but the only person that's going to believe them is you. You don't want to fool yourself. You're not fooling higher consciousness people like myself and the universe. You're not fooling anybody but you. You're only making your own work harder when you sit here and buy into those excuses. Because I am telling you, I'm giving you an illustration, a physical illustration, an exercise, so that you can take your ego, project it into something physical that you can channel working into every day, every night. You have to understand this. It is going to keep fighting. It is going to keep resisting. It is going to keep manifesting experiences and situations that are designed to distract you from your true alignment, and for you to keep feeding this beast system and these lower ether interdimensional beings. It's that simple. And it's your loved ones, people you care about. Even my coach, Nitty right there, we share the same coach. Love him to death too. But he even said, one of the things he shared with us, it is so painful knowing this work, teaching your family this work, and still watching them make these decisions through their ego that just give them the basically undesirable experiences. So you have to think, look, before I let you go, you have to think like a monk. Think like a monk. What do monks do? They isolate themselves. You have to isolate yourself if that's what you have to do. If there's anything in your life, anything or anyone that is going to steer your focus away from your true alignment. You've got to put that thing again to the back seat for a while. Until you become strong enough so that you can decipher and learn how to connect dots. So you can understand when your ego is tripping and trapping you up. Most of you still don't understand that yet. You don't understand when your ego is interfering. You don't understand that because energy connects to another, like energy must attract and gravitate to everything that is related and of its own likeness. This is why positive and negative do not occupy the same space simultaneously. They can't by law. If you don't look at a battery, if by law positive and negative could occupy the same space, if by law ego and true self could occupy the same space simultaneously, you will see it on a battery. You will not see positive on one end and negative on the other. It's that simple. So anyway, again, my email is zamalhatep@gmail.com. That's ZAMALHATEP. ZAMALHATEP You can hit me up at Gmail. I typically direct people to go get the Google Hangouts. And if you got any questions or is any part of this any topics you want me to cover when it comes to this, let me know. Or you want to, you need some guidance or whatever the case is, you want some coaching, just want to give me a shout. You can reach me there. Other than that, I hope that what I've shared with you resonates with your true divinity. I hope that what I've shared with you helps to elevate you into your true divinity. I hope that what I share with you, you go and share and make this a collective effort. And I bid and wish you happiness, joy, prosperity, and abundance. Peace and love. Thanks again for joining. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for supporting. Peace and love, and I'll talk to you next time. Still going.